Hey, Julian says here, and welcome to another episode of Paddle Smash Academy. And today we have Andi Neugarten Mayo from Six Love Sports.
We are all things paddle.
Hey, Andy, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your beginnings in racket sports and how you came to play paddle.
Well, I started playing tennis when I was 5 years old. My parents put a racket in my hand and took me off to lessons, and I had a lifelong, upbringing playing tennis competitively as a junior living in South Africa. Kind of ended when I was about 15, 14, when I wanted to be in the US playing, in the big leagues, and I had to leave school to do that. South Africa was, because of apartheid, we were very much out of the international arena, and it was really tough to do anything bigger than just playing in South Africa. So I put down my rackets and said...
But you burned out, or you just quit?
No, I said, I'm not doing this unless I can be number one in the world. I had high goals, and I need to be in the US playing with the best in the world. I need to go back to school and focus on school, not go back to school. I was in school. Focus on school and, be the best I can
And
be.
at that time, because of apartheid,
Apartheid.
you were not able to leave the country?
You could leave, but it was much harder. Like, we didn't have all the international tournaments coming in.
Okay.
South Africa was really shut down from the rest of the world for many, many years when I was growing up.
Wow.
So it was a lot harder. Some of our top players did leave and go to college in the U.S., but back in those days, when I was growing up, I'm a 60s baby, there weren't many of the top South Africans who made it out.
Gotcha. So when did you arrive to USA?
I've been in the U.S. for 22 years. We moved to San Diego first. It's very similar to South Africa. The climate's nice.
Too, yeah.
And it's a really nice place to raise kids.
So how were you
That's where I
introduced to
landed.
how were you introduced to paddle? Was that in South Africa or was that here?
No, when I was living in South Africa, there was no such thing as paddle 20 years ago. And actually, when I was living in San Diego, there was no paddle either.
Right.
It was only when I moved to Miami about 7 years ago, still didn't hear anything about it. It was just over a year ago that suddenly I was hearing like all this noise. All these tennis friends of mine were suddenly like playing paddle, and I was thinking to myself, this has got to be something that I can do. I have, hand-eye coordination. I've held a racket many times. And it wasn't that easy to find a place to play. I had to figure out the app, how to download the app, look for, I called Ultra numerous times to try and get somebody on the phone to get into a clinic. And I didn't want to do a beginner's clinic because I knew I wasn't a beginner. It took about 3 months to actually find the right clinic. I went to an intermediate clinic at Ultra, and that was the beginning. I got rated by one of the coaches, and then I would be driving Julian crazy for the next couple months. Like, I want to be in a better clinic. I want to be in a better clinic. So
I'm surprised it took you that long. And why do you think it did?
No one answers the phones. Any of the clubs.
Yeah.
It's not. It was mostly app done, right? If you had to know somebody, it was mostly done through app. So it was a little intimidating. And then just to walk in there and say, "Hey, I'm here to play."
Yeah, that's what I
didn't have
did.
the paddle.
That's what I did. I
Yeah.
said I want to play.
Yeah, and that's probably the best way to do it. When I get women who want to play right now, I'm actually hand-holding them a lot of the times and walking them through and showing them how to get onto play-by-point, just sign up
Gotcha.
and go to a beginner
Do you think they're a little intimidated or just?
Very much.
Really?
Wow.
Because of the club, because of the system?
Oh, it's nothing to do with Ultra. I think it's the same thing. You
No,
try
in
and
general.
book a clinic at some of the other clubs, it's not always that easy. And
It's
like,
maybe because they don't have
well,
the education of who to go to and who's the right person for that, and there's no easy navigation. You have to get on the apps, download the apps, and figure that out. The WhatsApp groups, if you're not in the WhatsApp groups, you're in the right ones. So I guess I get it. I can understand that.
And the question is, like, will I be is a beginner level okay for me? I've never played before. Will they give me a paddle?
That's true, because when I first started, but I didn't care. I just wanted to play so bad. I don't care. I'm just gonna go, and then you figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Once you're in, it's easy, right?
Right. So now, you look great. So you look like an athlete. So how do you keep in shape like that?
So
Because Julian needs to know.
Look at this guy. It's easy to jump over him than to go around him.
So I played tennis, of course, my whole life, but when I stopped playing tennis, I became a runner. A long distance runner. I ran many, many marathons, over 100 to be exact. Over 100 marathons, and about 12 of those were ultra marathons. So there's
ultra marathon is how many miles?
Depends, they're different. Could be 50 kilometers, could be 60. There's a race in South Africa called the Comrades Marathon. It goes from Johannesburg to from Durban to Pietermaritzburg, which is Durban's on the ocean, and then Pietermaritzburg's up higher level. And each year they run it a different way. So it starts in Durban, goes back up to Pietermaritzburg, and then the other way. And I did that 4 times, and that's 92 kilometers.
In one day?
Wow.
In one day.
Wow.
So to train for that, it would take 6, 7, 8 months, and you'd be running a marathon every week, sometimes twice in a week.
Wow.
So that was my early racing kind of career, and then I switched to triathlon. Kind of got bored just with the monotony of running and decided I needed a new challenge, so I taught myself to swim. I mean, I could swim, but I was not a swimmer in school. And I taught myself to ride a bike. Again, never, we all can ride a bike, but to be on the road and clip-ons is
competitively.
Yeah,
it's a different thing.
I became a pretty good cyclist, actually.
How many triathlons have you done?
So I did 3 full Ironmans.
3 full Ironmans in Hawaii, or?
I didn't do the full Ironman in Hawaii. I did Canada, Melbourne, in Australia.
And the Ironman, it's how many miles running, cycling?
It's a 2.2 mile swim, a 112 mile bike ride, and then a full marathon.
In the same day?
Yes.
Wow.
You just keep going.
When I have nightmares, that's what I have nightmares about. Running and all.
It's hard, but it's like anything. When you
You too, you're laughing because it happens to you too, right? So you have those nightmares, yeah.
It's like anything. If you said to me, today we're going to run 5 miles, we'll go ahead and run 5 miles. At the end of it, if you said to me, okay, now we're going to run another 10 miles, I'll tell you there's no way. But if you set it out at the beginning in your mind, and you train for it, it's not like you just start, that it's going to be a whole day and this is what we're doing.
It's a mindset.
It's complete it's mind over matter.
Yeah.
So and after all these years of pretty much beating up your body, because that's what it is, you know what I mean? What is the consequences? I mean, or how do you stay healthy, and how do you don't break down?
Well, I'm in the gym 4 times a week.
Okay.
I do weights as well as cardio. I think you have to do a balance, a mix of both. And especially as we get older, and I'm not that young, you have to be in the gym doing weights. I mean, it's how you retain your muscle mass, and so I think that's important. And then, of course, things do break down.
Yeah.
I had a stress fracture in my foot way back when I started running. Never ever had injuries from all the years of running. I had a bike accident once about 3 years ago, cracked my pelvis and a couple ribs.
Oof.
That wasn't fun. I bounced back from that pretty easily. But it's only more recently, since I started playing paddle, that I'm getting elbow issues. I have a knee problem going on.
Well, because running is just like this. But, other sports, tennis, others left to right, back, forth.
Yeah.
And what do you think that is?
I think because paddle is so addictive.
Okay.
That we all tend to play. I speak for myself, but I see it in my friends. We just play too much.
Yeah.
And I want more and more. And even though I'm in pain, I mean, I could play 3 times a day.
So what makes it addictive to you? Because I'm addicted. Everybody's addicted. What makes it addictive to you?
I think it's a combination of it's the natural high, it's the endorphins that kick in.
Yeah.
It's that dopamine rush where you can feel yourself doing something good, you feel yourself getting better, and you just want more and more and more. And I just know if I don't start my day off at one of my favorite clinics in the morning, or with a match, I just go downhill that day. So
I think it's very important to stay healthy at any sport. I was going to ask you before you mentioned that, but the technical aspect is very, the biomechanics and all that. And now going back to paddle, I mean, you have improved tremendously your technique. You know what I mean? Your shots and all that, and that helps a lot on preventing injuries. The footwork, the movement, and all that. You have to know how to do it properly for you not to get injured.
Agreed.
So going back to your triathlete days, I'm sure there is a proper technique to run, because if you need to run 100 and plus kilometers, I mean, what did you have a coach for each specific?
Not for running. Running, I never had a coach. Cycling, I did.
And is there a specific technique, the way you?
There is. It's how fast you can move your legs and get your cadence on the bike, and you want to be compact on the bike as well, and then also not pushing too much. Being in the right gear is important, because when you get off your bike, you need to be able to run. And if you've been pushing this very heavy gear and your quads are exhausted, by the time you get to run, you're finished. And so I guess all those small things.
Strategies and
And the
techniques.
swimming?
Swimming, I definitely had a swimming coach. The funny thing about swimming is it's a mile for a half Ironman or 2 miles for a full Ironman, but it's the hardest to improve in swimming. If you're not a high school or a college swimmer that just knows how to go through the water, biomechanically to improve your swim stroke, that it takes enough time off your end time is so hard.
Really?
So for me, that was the biggest challenge, yes.
Wow.
I'm a steady swimmer. I was not the fastest swimmer.
Okay, let's shift over to business, right, and paddle. How did you decide, hey, look, I'm going to create an organization, I'm going to create some type of business when it came to paddle? How did that vision come, and how did you move forward with that?
So, interesting question. It kind of, I've been playing paddle for about a year, and I am the hardest worker you'll ever find. When I set my mind to something, I want to be the best I can be, and I was working myself up in my various groups, and generally was playing with guys, and really struggling to find high-level women to play with. And we live in Miami. There are lots of them. I just wasn't connecting with them. So then I very slowly started to play some tournaments and find a couple of ladies who were great to play with, but there were all these tiny little groups and nobody was talking to each other, and there might be some of the girls from Argentina or from Spain, and there was nothing that brought us all together. So I created a group. I started pulling in all the girls that I was meeting one by one and saying, okay, we're all similar levels, let's play together regularly and let's help each other improve our game. And I also found that wanting to be part of the USPA and play in some of the big tournaments and represent the United States, there weren't all those girls who knew what was going on and were also, you're going to play a tournament, you need a partner. So I would go to San Diego and show up to a tournament and just have to choose somebody as a partner who wasn't in the same age group or the same level. Anyway, so put these groups together, and that's started going along very nicely. I then went 1 week towards the end of last year to the men's league that was going on down at Reserve Seaplane. And they started this great men's league, and I'm sure you went to take a look. It was amazing. There was a whole community, there were all these players, all these matches. And I looked at this and I was like, why aren't we doing this for women? And the guys who were running the league said, we just have no time. I mean, we're focused on the guys. So I said, well, is it okay if I do something for women? And it's a funny thing how when you do something that is right, the doors just kind of open. I've never felt like I was struggling or anybody shut doors in front of me. And I created this women's league called Six Love Sports. And I created a business around it. Well, I'm starting to create a business around it. But I put the league in place and put together 4 teams. We have Team Bandeja Babes, which is my team, the Bandejetas, Team Viboras, and 30 Lovers. And each team was asked to find around 30 to 35 players.
Each team, 30 to
Each team.
Wow.
That's a lot of players.
That's a lot of
Have they
players.
been
And the
successful
reason
to
we
that?
have such big rosters is because the league was set up that we play every Thursday night for 6 weeks, and then we'll have a big final event on week 7. I didn't want anybody to feel that they had to commit to 6 weeks of league. If you tell somebody you're
That's
in a
smart.
team and you might play every week if you can, but you might play on week 1 and week 4, and you tell us when you're available. Everyone's happy to play.
Smart.
But you can't commit to every Thursday night. We all have kids and families and husbands
Wow,
and
that's
stuff like
that's
that.
smart. I think that
So anyway, we have these teams of, the league is about 140, 150 people. And I get calls every single day and messages for other ladies who want to join. So there's definitely a demand.
So how does that work? You said you have 4 teams, okay, and Is there some? That's not. Is that organized just as a legal entity, or is that just okay? You're a team and you're responsible for it. I mean, how
Six
does
Live
that work?
Sports is set up as a legal entity, but each team is set up on its own. It's just a team, and
Okay,
each
so-
captain gets to choose who's on their roster each week.
Okay.
So each team's roster, every week they put together 3 gold teams, which are really advanced players, 4.5 level plus the old ratings. I'm not sure which ratings we use these days, but advanced level, 3 high intermediate teams, and then 3 intermediate level teams.
Okay, so you're
And
depending
then-
on each kind of like group to organize themselves. And
And then
how
what-
is that going?
It's going really well.
Good.
So what we do every week, the captains kind of talk to each other, and we play a different team each week, and we look at the rosters, and I'll say, okay, she's not a bronze player. She should be in silver, and unless there's a reason why, we really try and keep the levels
Okay.
pretty
competitive,
accurate,
right.
so that it's
Yeah.
competitive. So
Make
nobody's
fun,
having.
so it's fun.
Right.
It's fun for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, some people will lose that you expect to win, or vice versa.
Okay,
but
and what happens if you don't know them?
most of the
level of
time,
play.
somebody does.
Okay.
We really haven't had a situation where
So and you
nobody
have an
does.
intermediate, so
Advanced, high intermediate, intermediate
so
level.
6 players per week per team.
6 players per level, so 18 players per team. 6
Each
times
week.
3 each week. So we have 72 players every.
And where are you hosting these, and how long does it last? And is there any type of do you gain points, or how does the scoring system work?
So we hold it every week at Reserve. It's going between Reserve Solomia and Reserve Seaplane, just because of location. Some people live up north, some people live down
Gotcha.
south. So we're really trying to be fair because the traffic is terrible for some of us. It goes from about 5:30 till 9:30 every Thursday night. And we play the best of 3 sets. The third set is a super tie break. It's all golden points scoring.
Okay.
With 6-6 in set 1 and 2, you play a tie break, a short tie break, and then on the third set, it's a super tie break. And each match for every set that you win, you get a point, and if you win the match, you get a point. So if you win a match 2-1, you get 3 points, and the other team gets 1 point.
Gotcha.
And okay, and is there a membership, or how do people register?
So for the first league, I created a WhatsApp group, and I also have a website where people can sign up to be part of the community. But whenever they do that, I add them to the big WhatsApp chat group, which is about 300 people now. And these are all women who want to play or are interested in playing. For the first league, we didn't charge anything. I wanted to prove that this worked.
You're right.
Okay.
So I didn't charge a penny to anybody to sign up and play. I've done this all on my own. When they play, they pay $40
For the
to
court
play
time.
for the
Mhm.
court time,
Yeah.
which just covers the court time.
But how about the balls and all that stuff? Is that included in there
That's
too?
yes,
Okay, those.
it's
okay.
included. So you get balls and water.
And do you cap it
Which
at a
is
certain
very
amount of
generous.
players?
Well, every week it's 72 players playing. So the team captains put together their roster for the week, and it's 18 people.
So
per
how long
team.
does this last, and at what point do you decide who's the winner?
So it's a 6-week league. So
Okay.
every team, because there were 4 teams, we had every team play the other team twice, and then we'll have a final event on March 6th.
That's great.
We started on January, the third week of January, just before Reserve Cup, and we've basically run it every Thursday night except the Thursday of Reserve Cup.
So how do you decide who's the winner? The one who
Most
makes it to
points.
Masters? The most points.
The one's going to have the
Gotcha.
most points at the end. And it's pretty,
It's great.
last week one team was way in the league. After last Thursday night, it's pretty
Changed.
much one team is 3 points in the lead and the next 2 are.
Who's the top team right now?
So at the moment, 30 Lovers has 52 points, and then you have Viboras and Bandeja Babes with 49 points.
Oh, okay.
So we're very close, and that
Yeah.
can change.
And
in a
what for
second.
captains?
So I'm captain of Bandeja Babes, and then Bandejetas is Marilyn Grinder from Padel X. Team Viboras is Danny Quevedo, and the 30 Lovers is Sabrina Suarez.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What when she's not traveling?
She's been at most of the matches.
Good.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
way to go, Sabrina. It's so exciting. I mean, it's. I love to see that. I mean, the growth of paddle usually starts with the male, then the females, come behind, and there's a huge market.
Yeah.
It's so untapped. You know what I mean? We have to really, and we need people like you to really push that segment, because those are the ones who fill the clubs. Come in the morning, come in the afternoon, come midday. You those are the movers and shakers. The ladies. I think they're pretty active. They love this.
Very.
They love the social aspect to it, and I think it's amazing what you're doing with these ladies.
Yeah.
Well, I invite you to come to one of the league matches and in fact, you should come this Thursday night. We're doing a Valentine's special event at Seaplane from 5 till 9:30.
Okay.
Last week we were there till 11
Yeah,
o'clock at night.
Get some
And
B-roll.
Reserve has been unbelievably supportive. I wouldn't be where I am with this league without the support of Reserve. This week we're doing a wellness market as well. They do a monthly wellness market, so it'll be a Valentine's themed wellness market. And my logo as part of Six Love Sports is for the love of the game. So that's our logo or our slogan for this week. But it's not just about paddle. You don't just have 72 ladies on the court playing paddle. You have family members supporting. We have food, drinks. This week there are vendors and some clothing brands will be there. And we're doing a fashion show because some of the people in our league, Sabrina has a clothing brand. We have Tower, Golden Point is a sponsor. We're
So
going to do a little
that was my
fashion
next
show.
question. Now that you've proven that there's a void for this and a need for this, how do you convert this to a business? Okay, is it with sponsors? Is it charging a membership fee?
Yes.
How do you envision it? Because at the end of the day, you're doing all this work, and of course,
Absolutely.
you get paid for, and this is again a business.
Part of it's passion, and I've always told my kids, if you find something you love to do, and you'll never work a day in your
Yeah,
life.
it's true.
But of course, there has to be a business element and a business side to this. Yes, the next league will be, you sign up for the league, and there'll be a lump sum upfront fee.
Do you know what that will be, or you're still trying to figure
I'm
that
still
out?
kind of figuring it out.
Okay.
Not too much to scare anybody off,
Right,
but
right.
enough that it covers their court playing time for the month, or for the period of the league. Because then I wouldn't expect everyone to pay the $40 each time. I would include that.
Okay.
And then we need sponsors. What I've shown from the league, and again, if you come and see what goes on at these events, it's people taking photos. The difference between the guys and the girls, the women are involved, active, very athletic, and they're very social. So
Definitely.
they're networking, they're connecting with each other, they're taking photos, they're posting videos. And my Instagram page has had over 55,000 views in the last 30 days.
Great.
I mean, and that's for a small, we only have 550 followers so far. It's all organic, and these are all real,
So any
people.
sponsors or vendors that want to participate in your organization, what can they expect, and what is the cost?
Well, I'm busy working on some sponsorship packages right now.
Okay.
So it's by negotiation.
Okay.
There'll be different levels, and there are different things that I'm doing. So the league is part of it, but the league is not everything.
Okay.
I'm adding on some tournaments.
Okay.
March 15th, we have a big tournament here at Solomia, and it's aimed at intermediate, high intermediate ladies.
So like a
So-
weekend tournament?
It's going to be a one day, all day
one
on
day.
a Saturday. And the purpose of this is to get them into playing a little more competitive paddle. Like, a lot of these ladies have never played a tournament. They're happy to play at the club level, and you throw in a little tournament at the club, they'll play. But this is going to be a USPA 100, so it's going to take them into the red paddle and the USPA system.
Yeah, I that's you say that and it triggers and it's like, I think that's kind of true. A lot of women, I think, I hear this a lot. I'm just playing for fun, and I'm not sure why they say that, because when you talk to guys,
It's
we're
so
playing to win.
competitive. Oh, yeah, it's
And so
competitive.
you want to learn, and I'm not sure if they're just maybe a little intimidated or they don't want to risk, losing. But I think organizations like yourself and these tournaments get them a little bit more competitive and more like, hey, I want to go and play, and I want to learn, and I want to win. Which is a great thing.
A lot of them don't actually believe they can be better, and
Yeah.
what I've seen is the
felt that.
level, yeah, and then they're suddenly playing against other, players. I'm like, that was amazing. You're doing so well. You played so amazingly, and it gives them confidence to actually step up and say, well, okay, I'm going to do a tournament now.
Wow,
I'm
that's
going to
great.
give you a great idea that I think it will complement perfectly. Why don't you do every week before the Thursday, one night point play clinics, where the clinics you only play points with the supervision of a coach, where you play on strategy, how to stand, how what to do, how to play those specific
that.
points. I think that's something
That would be a
that
good
we
idea.
can talk and then.
It's a good
We
idea.
definitely, so we do. So, for example, leagues on Thursday night. Tomorrow night, my team has a practice, and I put
that's
out a
great.
list, and we have 12 to 16 of the team members showing up. Sometimes we just play matches. Last week, I had a coach on one of the courts, and then I had them drilling on one court and playing matches on the other court.
And
But
what's the cost of that for each player?
$40,
That's great.
yeah.
That's
And then sometimes we order pizza and some salads, and some of the other teams do the same thing as well. I know Marilyn does the same thing with her team at Padel X.
man. We need a guys league like that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
fun.
This sounds like a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
It is fun. It's
No, I think it's
so
great.
fun.
I mean, you work out the whole week for that match day, and then everybody gets all pumped up.
Create
and
more of a
excited.
social thing too,
Well,
which is
one
great.
of the things I've always said about women is strong women make other women, they lift each other up, okay? And this is not just about playing paddle. I want to know what you do when you're not playing paddle. A lot of the girls have their own businesses. Some might be moms or professionals, but let's talk to each other and let's support each other's businesses or ambitions, dreams. One of the girls in one of our leagues was just graduated and has been looking for a job, and the community's been helping her to find a great job. So
That's beautiful.
So where do you see your business in the next few years?
well, I plan to be all over the U.S., not just
Wow.
here in Miami. So definitely a league in some shape or form, but definitely doing tournaments across the country. I think there's a huge need for it. And a big part of this, I want to, bring more players into the USPA through these tournaments, because if we want the US paddle to improve and grow, we have to do it this way, and we have to get more players involved
Right.
and in the system.
You're right, and the youth. The women's
Well,
and the youth.
that's the next stage of it. So I just need more people. I need some help. But
Right.
one of my plans is to get high school tennis players. Maybe they're not good enough to go to college to play tennis, but they're really nice tennis players. And they need to see that paddle is really cool and really fun. And like with your daughter, that there are other kids that age
Yeah.
that make it more fun. They don't want to
Yeah.
come and play with people like me.
Right.
I mean, that's occasionally nice, but they want to be on the court with their friends
Yes.
and, having pizza afterwards.
Yeah.
So I think there's a whole opportunity there, and that needs to be done with Ultra and Reserve
Yeah.
and each
All
one
the
of the
clubs.
clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
create,
well,
we need
everybody
to go to
has
the
to-
schools and bring them into the clubs in the afternoon when there's some quiet time.
I
Good.
think you're right.
Excellent.
Is there anything else that you would like to talk about to our audience?
I just want to see more of you on the paddle court. I think, if there's anybody that wants to be part of the league or wants to get into one of the tournaments, please feel free to reach out. And if you need some hand-holding, I'm very happy to do that. So
And we're
don't
gonna-
be intimidated.
We're gonna put the link right below it, so for you guys to reach out to Andy and to Six Love Sports, more than happy to help here.
You're doing a great job. Well, congratulations,
Thank you.
you've done already.
Yeah.
Okay, and wish
Thanks
you all
for
the
your
luck.
support. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Andy.